Well, hello everybody. If you are viewing this, you are showing up to our new commercial truck training website that's been put together for us. Of course, this part is being One Nexus Group. And today we are talking about our in-dealer consulting, which this guy has done for many, many years. And right now, it's probably more valuable than ever, isn't it?
Oh, without a doubt, there's a whole new generation, Will, of salespeople who have gotten into this job. Either they've kind of drifted in or they were directed in, but they really struggle on the outside sales process.
Yeah, there's a heck of a lot to it, isn't there?
There is, and you don't always get the benefit of the dealership that spends thousands of dollars a week on TV advertising and radio advertising and print advertising for the retail side, and yet there's nothing like that on the commercial side.
Right. We're recording this in the early summer stages of 2024, just to give you guys a context as to the timing of it all, given how much has changed over the last 5 years, and they've all kind of had their own unique dynamics. We're consulting with dealers now. We're planning more as they're coming on board. Yeah. So we wanted to let dealer principals in particular know exactly what this program looks like. So give a little bit of an overview of what you do.
Well, how we initiate our involvement with the dealership. So it always starts with a phone call. They've heard from another dealer or they've heard from the manufacturer how valuable our services are. I mean, because we've had such success rate. We get the call, and they really don't know what direction we're going to take. So I give them a systematic approach. Yep. Number one, before we ever go, as you know, Will, we do a lot of research. We look at things like what associations are there in the general area. We look at the chambers, and often I'll even call, and you do it as well. We'll call those organizations ahead of time just to let them know that we're going to be in the area. We'd love to set up an appointment. And gosh, we've gotten appointments with, the directors of the Home Builders Association and Associated General Contractors and Associated Builders and Contractors, as well as your traditional chambers of commerce, even in some cases, Civitan and Lions Club.
Yeah.
So it's a total immersion into this process. The whole thing, message we're trying to get across to the dealership is you can't wait for business to come to you. It's never going to work very well that way unless you're giving away the shop, and there goes all your profit.
We've seen some of those.
We've seen some of those. We go to them, and guess what? 99% of the time, they have never been called on by an automotive dealership. It just hasn't happened. They're kind of in a state of shock in some cases.
Now, we also spend a great deal of time, obviously you do it outside the dealership. You go out and make sales calls with the guys, teach them the right ways.
Right.
Go visit the associations. As you said, we do the research before going in there. We're armed with a lot of knowledge of the dealership that I don't want to say you're not aware of it, but maybe we're a little bit more hyper specific on what we're looking for to really maximize some of those things and optimize the things that you're looking for. But talk about the experience of going into the dealership itself, working with service, working with parts, the BDC, even the retail side of things, to try to maximize the commercial effort.
Yeah, typically, retail guys get involved in commercial to the detriment of the dealership because they don't know the right questions to ask, which we train the outside sales guys to do. They don't know the ins and outs of the commercial vehicle itself, much less the upfit. I mean, that's a very specific set of knowledge skills that we don't want a regular retail salesperson getting involved in. It really short circuits.
How about getting the other departments involved, the service, BDC, parts?
Oh, wow. The thing that we're able to show them is how much we're going to increase their profits and show them how much more loyalty exists on the commercial side because we're developing those relationships. We want to know their kids' names. We want to know their spouse. We want to know where they go on vacation. We want to know how long they've been doing what they're doing. If they're an owner or something else. We want to know the major obstacles that they're facing. And a lot of those obstacles have to do with the vehicle itself. They don't know the difference between a regular dealership in many cases and a commercial department within a dealership.
Still in 2024, very, very relevant.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The really cool thing about the in-dealer consulting that we have capability now is we've not changed the price at all.
No.
As far as in-dealer stuff, it is exactly the same as what we were doing a few years ago, and we've since brought that back. And the wonderful thing about it is now it's more than just Ken. Not only am I joining on every single visit and looking at different things to maximize that, but we also have our director of dealer success, and that is Colleen Good, and she's also coming in looking at an entirely different set of systematic principles that are going to help keep the dealership that much more accountable within commercial and fleet, and there's really no additional charge for that.
And it's great because you're getting inside and outside help.
Yes.
Both. And she is incredible.
So
I have tremendous respect for what she does.
In that regard, at least in terms of how we used to do it, it's basically a 3-for-1 deal when it comes to in-dealer consulting. Now, let me ask you this. Dealer principals that are watching this, what is the ideal candidate for this in-dealer consulting program? Because we've been involved with so many. What is the ideal candidate? They're watching this and saying, yes, I need to pull the trigger on this.
Yeah, let's look at it as a dealership itself. If you're struggling at all, you know, on work trucks, work vans, to if you really don't have a solid idea of what your people are doing, the dealer principal can't get involved and be a commercial manager.
Right.
And we recommend having a commercial manager. Sometimes they put the retail manager over that, which we don't necessarily advocate. But are they building relationships? Are they going outside? There's a set of questions that we want the commercial manager, if there is one, or whoever's managing them, to ask when they come back in. You know, go over the call with them. You know, how did it go? What stood out? Tell me what did you specifically do? What questions did you ask? We want to really know what they're doing. What we don't want them doing is showing up and throwing up.
Right.
You know, where they just go and say, hey, we do this, we do that, we've got this, we've got that, we've got a commercial department, great. No, hey, could I ask you a few questions? That's probably the question I ask more than anything.
You need to write that book.
I do. We've decided that should be the title of the book. Could I ask you a few questions? The model for our sales approach is consultative. And I'll almost say it's counseling to a great degree of what they do and how they do it. What's been extremely important is teaming with Nexus. We have a really solid system on the purchase and replacement of vehicles that I know you're going to talk a little bit about.
Then I'm glad you brought that up, because that is something else that when you're consulting with us, we have other arms of the business now, other resources, and really experts within those fields that can really help maximize those things. And if you want to view us as foundational, fundamental training, if you will, getting your systems in the right way, then we also have things available for new hire recruiting and training.
Yes.
Which is great because they've done a wonderful job. All the candidates that we've seen and have come through our boot camp are phenomenal. And then once you get to that point where you've established a customer base, you're starting to go from there and even starting to plateau maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
That's when it's really time. You can do this at any time, but in our experience, that's really where you start to introduce fleet cycling. But there are certain things that come into play from the dealership perspective that you need to be able to be ready for that, and we can guide you to that process before ultimately passing you off to those experts that are now, we're under that umbrella as well. I do want to point out that there are a lot of dealerships that we see that, and I'm not picking on you guys, but just stay with me here. They think they know what they're doing. They think they have the systems in place. We hear a lot of times about any given component, oh, we don't need to worry about that.
Yeah.
Our challenge to you is, let us take a look. It's a different way of saying, are you sure? Is there an opportunity to maximize, optimize, or do you really need to do more than that? You'd be surprised how much we've uncovered over the time that really wasn't handled the right way, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Chief among those are, again, having a true commercial system. And the key is system. Will and I both have a football background. And every great football team and every great football coach has a system. And they stick with that system. And that system is what takes them to the Super Bowl or to the playoffs. by following and sticking to the system. Our system is proven over 2 decades, and it works. And we've got testimonial after testimonial of dealerships who do our program and make a success of it. Probably one of the greatest compliments we ever got was Pat McGrath. And he said it very plainly. We thought we were in the commercial and fleet business. When we found out we really weren't, and Ken and Will brought, the systematic approach to the table, and we're getting tremendous results. Those are words from a dealer principal who embraced the program and gave it time. And over a couple of years, it just exploded to being probably one of the best in the nation.
Yeah, definitely the poster child. If you're watching this as a dealer principal and you are interested in growing your commercial business, or I would say even more importantly, you're tired of not having it figured out and not having it, almost in your case for you watching this, on autopilot, give us a call. Get in touch with us for the in-dealer consulting. We do have other options available, but that really is the most intensive, specialized version available for you. And it is definitely something worth talking about with us, even if you're just picking our brains, even if we're coming in for one visit just to evaluate it, and then you roll from there. That's a possibility too. But we want you to make sure that if you're interested at all in growing your commercial business, getting those systems the right way, that you come and talk with us.
Oh, without a doubt. We're going to uncover things you never even thought about. It's amazing. And it's interesting, and most of these visits, when it's available, we make some calls ahead of time, and we've actually set up appointments on sales calls.
Appointments, mystery shopped, absolutely.
From, miles, thousands of miles away. And it's amazing how well it's worked.
So get in touch with us. All the links and everything, if you're seeing this video, you will be able to do that easily. We look forward to talking with you and have a great conversation and seeing where things go. So thanks for watching.
Thank you.